Yes. I think that there's probably a large lawsuit in this. The false reporting is a gross misdemeanor, unless, of course, it happened on school grounds. Which now I have made mention numerous times that I never emailed the Quilcene School District because I didn't need to. I could see in the newspaper my sons are going to high school there. And I can Google my own name, and then I could Google Heidi Budnick, and I can see that she's a teacher in the Brennan School District. There's a reason. It's not to violate the restraint provisions. I mean, if I had wanted to do that, I could have done it a long time ago. It's that on school grounds, there are certain protocols necessary. Now, this idea of the civil rights coordinators refusing to enforce the civil rights of my sons, yes, when they're in the wrong grades. So, the idea of excuse me, Class B felony, of you saying, well, let's see here, the restraint provision is ordered above, and the court found on page 4 of 6, yes, that the respondent had actual notice, yes. That is a materially false statement, Brent Basden. Class B felony. Ooch. Now, credible threat. I wasn't a credible threat. My record was expunged and I never violated the. Well, let's look at exactly what you did. You served me in a public library on August 15th of 2015. Yes. Now, is that one of those places where if you false report, as in the individual says, yes, they witnessed it, and it happens to be a public library where you should not violate the rights of the library patrons to be able to use the library, yes, inclusive of children. Let's say I asked you, who are they? Because that's what I said. And you pointed at everybody in the Squim Public Library. That would be one of those places where if you served an individual and they didn't have good control of their emotions, yes, they could have went ballistic. Now, I would say, yes, return to service, Squim Police Department, yes. Was it the sheriff that served me in the public library? No. Some private individual, yes. Who else did you serve and where did you serve them? Oh. Now, I would say that it's a false report, yes, to serve any person a court service in a location where children have the right to use the school or the library without causing some sort of commotion that would upset a person. You endanger the lives of the individuals in the library when you served me? Yes. Because if I was this tyrant of a father, I could have decided to kick the guy's ass right there. And that would have put the other individuals in the library in harm's way. Yeah. But I didn't. No. I sat there and I put it in my backpack and I waited until I was done using the computer. Yes. And then I went to the Safeway outside of the Safeway and decided to read it. Yes. And an officer from the Squim Police Department asked me, do you have a copy of this protection order? And I said, yes, I do. And I was reading it. Yeah. Looked just like the copy she had. Yes. And she asked me what I was going to do. It happened to be a Saturday. There was nothing to do because the court was closed that day. Now, I would say that when you put children, yes, in possible situations where they can be harmed, you have definitely committed the crime of official misconduct. Oh, could you give me every officer of the law? Now, this idea, right, where you're going to say that I received notice of court hearings, yes, and then you're going to allege that I was on school grounds, yes, and that I had emailed some coworkers of Heidi Lee Budnick, yes, some sort of lascivious email where I threatened her life. Felony, felony, felony. Let's say I sued just I sued, Jess. I sued. I sued. I sued. You know, being a father, yes. I'm actually concerned about children, and as much as you wanted to say that I was a child abuser right now, I'd say that you completely disregard any concern for those around you. Yes. Now, making a false or misleading statement to a public servant. Oh, a person who knowingly makes a false or misleading material statement to a public servant is guilty of a gross misdemeanor. Material statement means a written or oral statement reasonably likely to be relied upon by a public servant, yes, in the discharge of his or her official powers or duties. This actor that you paid to play the part of Pulsey Budnick, the dog, did somebody make a statement to the superintendent of the school, Trish Batard? Yes, that it was myself and Brennan Washington. And this material statement about me being the individual that said that I was going to blow my wife's face off. The only way that I could actually say that is I would have had to be there then. But I wasn't. Police chief. I was sitting in front of the Masonic Temple, P. Budnick 21 channel. Now, this false and misleading statement was the cause of the 2-count criminal complaint. Yes. And then Mr. Roberts said, I have an email sent by Mr. Budnick. Yes. Friday, June 16th. Heidi Budnick's workplace happens to be, yes, a school. Now,